When Rabbi Mendelbaum asked me to speak tonight, he told me my job was to say words of hadroche b'inyanei chinuch v'kedoima. But since I am somewhat new in this town, in this Mahadura at least, I really was worried if the message I would deliver is appropriate. But when he told me that the idea for me to speak came from Moshe Levi Weinberg, who knows me from the time he knows anybody, and knows what type of a message I'm likely to deliver, I was put at ease. Because in Halacha, there is a concept, there is a musik of Sova v'Kibbel. But I want to preface my remarks with what the Baal Avas Yisroel Zechoyin Devrocha used to say. Ich mein nicht keinen, or there was meint as meinich take. I'm not talking about anyone in particular, but if someone feels that I mean him, I take mean him. Bearing this in mind, let's discuss an inyan that's very dear and important to all of us, how to succeed in the chinuch of our children. Let's begin by putting down a very important yesod in the whole musig of chinuch. I'm not the one who was machadish this yesod. The Chassam Sofer in his droshes puts down this very important yesod. The Torah instructs us to bring along even small children to the gathering of Hakel. Everyone understands that little children will not understand what is being said. Nevertheless, we are told, bring along the children. Why? So the Gemara litein schar lemiveihem, so that the parent should be rewarded for doing a mitzvah. But really, what did the parents do that they should deserve a schar? So the Chassam Sofer explains, and I will touch slowly, it's important, every word. Ki beteva b'nei Avrom Avinu olav hasholem. It's the natural tendency of one who is a descendant from Avrom Avinu. Kol echod misave v'choshek. Everyone, he wants with all of his heart and his might. Lahamid b'noi chozok b'yiras Hashem v'toirosai. He wants that his child should be stark in Torah and Yiras Shamayim. So Memele, when he brings him along to Hakel, he's really goyrem that he should not be able to hear the Hakel so good. But he's doing it today, he's ready to forfeit some of his ruchnias so that his child will be a big Talmid Chochem. Therefore, le'umas zeh, schoroi shel ha'ov godol yoiser v'yoiser. The schar of the father is great and great. Shehifsid la'atzmoi, he was ready, willing and able to be mafsid of his own ruchnias, k'dei lahamid ben tzadik v'talmid chochem, to have a son who's going to be a tzadik and a talmid chochem, and that's the pshat when the Gemara says, k'dei litein schar lemiveihem. The schar for being ready to give up from your own ruchnias for the benefit of the chinuch of your child, that's the schar, litein schar lemiveihem. Azoi paskin der Chassam Sofer. I think that maybe I've already accomplished very much. Very possible that many of us may be more than willing to give up some ruchnias. But isn't there a kal v'chomer that you certainly have to give up some gashmias for the sake of a child's chinuch? Here is where we may run into some problems. And let's examine the matter somewhat. All of us are certainly ready to agree that the major job of a parent is to prepare their children for the life ahead of them. We must prepare a child in such a way that as he grows older, this training, this chinuch will steer him through life. Now let's think. Are we ready to realize that when we dress our children in a certain way, in a way that proclaims very loudly and very clearly, Niyeh kechol hagoyim beis Yisroel, in a way that smacks of extravagance, in a way that's silly and childish, that we are actually doing great and sometimes irrevocable damage to a child. because we have taught him inadvertently perhaps, but we have taught him that to dress in anything less is simply impossible. And without the latest style that some depraved goy in Paris declared to be on the in, even though he has clothes that are till now still perfectly wearable, he is never wearing rags. That's a metzias. So I ask you, Tayre Yidden, do we know anyone who can guarantee that when his children will grow up, they will be able to lead an extravagant lifestyle? I would think so, but the child has already been, I wouldn't think that anybody can guarantee such a thing. But the child has already been taught by deed, not by words. This is the way and the only way to live. And if the child can in fact not lead an extravagant life, his life has been turned into a misery. By whom? By well-meaning parents who really loved seeing how cute he is, but didn't stop to think, am I preparing him for life? Maybe we don't have to teach our children that they have to lead a simple lifestyle, but we at least should teach them that you can lead a simple lifestyle and still be very much alive and extremely happy and be very successful in life, even if Hashem Yisborach destined him to lead a life in which there are no expensive trips, a life in which you don't take your kids out of school in the middle of the year to warm yourself in Florida, a life in which a little Shmendrik didn't go to Yisroel to have himself photographed in the front of the Koisel HaMa'arovi. And yet it seems that even this bit of Gashmias, of having your neighbor or your sister-in-law say, without even meaning it, your Yankele looks awesome, is far too much to sacrifice for the good of a child for his entire future. There is necessity, there is comfort, and there is luxury. The parameters of these lifestyles are set in a person's childhood. And if a child is raised in a lifestyle in which luxury is necessity, how well is he prepared for life? When we all know very well that it's very possible that not always will he be able to maintain such a lifestyle. And if a result of a child's chinuch, his life is turned inside out and upside down, how good of a job have the parents done? It should be stated again and again that even if the mother will say Perik Shire 400 times a day, but will not follow the dictates of the Chachomim as how to raise a child to be a Talmid Chochem, all she will get from this will be a sore throat, but her son will in all probability not become a Talmid Chochem. Let's learn a small Tosfos together, a small little Tosfos. Tosfos in Ksubis and Daf Kuvdalet says as follows: Da Amrinon b'Medrash, Ad she'odom mispalel she'yikonis teire l'teich gufay, yispalel shlo yikonsu ma'adanim l'teich gufay. Instead of being mispalel that teire should go into his head, should be mispalel that ma'adanim, luxuries, should not go into his guf. And we have to understand the Poshete Ivre in Tosfos. What does Tosfos mean? Why do you have to be mispalel that ma'adanim don't go into your guf? Don't put them in there and fartik. What do you need tefillah that ma'adanim should not go into your guf? What is Tosfos? Ashvere Tosfos, what does Tosfos mean? The answer is, Rabbi, say very poshet. We say in davening, Shenishmechu kecha b'olam hazeh. And the Chassam Sofer explains, the Rebbeinu Yisroel does not expect from every Yid to lead a lifestyle of ta'aniyos, v'sigufim, of deprivation. On the contrary, Chazal warn us against dikdukei aniyos. The avoid of a person is adarabah. Lishmei chukecho, where? Ba'olam hazeh. Aber, ba'amido, b'mishkal, b'msura. In the way and in the form HaKadosh Baruch Hu prescribed for a Yid, with the proper degree of self-control, with the proper degree of tznius, with the proper degree of what's called in Yiddish, Bashedenkeit. True that luxury ma'adanim is a major cause of failure to become a Talmid Chochem, but what is considered necessity, and what is considered comfort, and what is considered luxury, changes somewhat according to circumstances. And let's see, Rabbi Say, our great-grandparents, and maybe to some of the great-great-parents, would have been astounded at the fabulous kingly luxury of having a bathroom in the house, let alone 2 or 3. Yet, I would venture to say that today, an apartment without a bathroom is equivalent to living in a stable in those days. Are we to say that having running hot water in the house is a luxury that can be detrimental to limit HaTorah? Most certainly not. But why? It's a luxury. That's what our ancestors, and not 10 generations back, would say. A washing machine, that's a luxury that even a king could only dream of. Like bus service every 15 minutes to the Levona, the same thing. So are we going to say this is... I think it's very clear to everyone that the parameters of a necessity and comfort and luxury change with the circumstances. But the boundaries between necessity and comfort and luxury are very hazy and unmarked, and the margin of error is very wide, and with the Yetzer Hara edging one along in the wrong direction, the chances of making wrong decisions are not small, and the price for errors is very steep. This is what Tosfos means. Everyone has to make decisions. What am I doing? Am I doing something which is necessity, or am I engaging in luxury? And these are decisions that everyone has to make, and they change. They're always changing. So a person has to say that be mispalel, shelo yikonsu ma'adanim, inadvertently thinking that this is necessity. He should be mispalel to know, what am I doing over here? But tefillah must be heartfelt. And this is only possible after one reaches the understanding that this inyan is of the utmost importance, and that the entire success of a child in his adult life is very much dependent on these decisions. And regrettably, these decisions are very often made with very little thought, in some store, with the storekeeper on one side and the Yetzer Hara on the other side being the interferers of this unfortunate chasana. One of the most important rules in life is that what one does cannot always be guided by what one wants. Even the Goyim used to know that. And if we don't instill in children this very important yesod, we have really been derelict in our duty of chinuch habonim, because if the child doesn't know this, he really knows nothing. I'm saying this following the derech tzachos. Aber it's something to think about. The Gemara says that there's a person that's yeshloch adam shemamoyne chov olav migufay. And the Gra is bothered, gewalt, how can you find a person that's mamoyne chov olav migufay? Where can we shigene mamoyne chov olav migufay? And I see the ilm halts a starke kashe. I'm not so sure. I don't know what the kashe is. Let me ask you something, Rabbi Say. Der Eibishter soll helfen, alle soll haben gesunde Kinder in alle Brote. Aber Chachmona Litzlan, if somebody has a kid that he has to give him a kidney, is there even one parent that wouldn't give him? Shtazazach, everybody would do it. Moiredik. Yet, it's hard for the same parent to exert themselves a little and forego the Shabbos afternoon nap in order to tell his children a story or to learn with him something so that they don't run outside to play basketball on Shabbos. I know all the heterim about this, Rabbi Say. But it doesn't say on the side or in the Meforshim in the back that this is the type of Anhogas Shabbos that will bring kids that are Tamid Chachomim v'Yirei Hashem. Wearing clothes or hairstyles that automatically put one in a certain category and which has a profound effect on what the children will be like. And all of this only because he doesn't want his friend to think he's too greasy, means that while he may be ready to give a kidney to his child, he's not ready to forego this degree of so-called social acceptance in favor of his son's Hatzlocha B'Teira V'Yirei Shamayim. I sometimes wonder, be'emes wonder, why people are not afraid Mashiach is going to come b'mheira b'yameinu, Klal Yisroel is going to get online to say Shalom Aleichem, and when the turn comes, Mashiach will turn around to the Kohen Gadol, whoever's going to speak to him, there is Mishaloni. Why are people not afraid of this? Oh, but that's how it is. What's schwer the Großkasche? I'm proving to you black and white. little comfort is too hard to give to him. A kidney to give him, aber man will mit a bisschen COVID, das schön nicht. Can find from the gross kasha very posh. I'm not going to be married. Aber Herz a bisschen, a white beard, habe ich schon, some experience I also have. The biggest mevinim on parents are the children. And the problem is, they don't give a chance for a parent to explain himself. They don't ask questions. They see and decide, and they hand down a verdict, and after that the parent is guilty until proven innocent. And that may never happen. I would like to share a true story with you. A person that I know very well had a boy that was fumphening, and he was like a fumphening. So he asked me to get a young man to work with him. I got someone very good. I don't want to say who it was. If I were to say, the Elam would agree that it was very, very good. But I don't want anybody to be able to figure out who this is. Sag ich nicht. A short while later, this young man tells me, I spoke to the boy, and I told him his father is great tzaf and he's hanhoga. So the boy told me, look here, my father is full of baloney. He is no better. He's just faking. Very tragic that a boy should speak like this about his father. But even more tragic is the fact that the boy is never 100% right. I know him well. He yells about the right things. He rubs shoulders with the right crowd, but he is like a faker. His Shabbos consists of psikreshet le'nichale and treder abonons, and when Shabbos is made vochadik, even boifen she'enei also, there is no last Shabbos l'deroisam. It doesn't work. A father can ask all the questions on the parsha zettel, but the boy can tell that he is interested in his answers much less than he's interested in the price of tea in China. The father makes all appropriate grunts of disapproval when his son is not serious about learning and davening, but the child thinks, I'm chas v'sholem going to be mishana medarkei ovi chas v'sholem. I am interested in my learning and my davening no less, but also no more than my father. The father yelled at his boy because he talks in the middle of college. What do you think the boy thinks? He thinks, I can't wait till I grow up and I can talk in the middle of college. That's the whole thing. How can a father expect his son to be on time for yeshiva when his son sees him rolling out of his bed Shabbos morning just in time to be a half an hour late? How can a father expect his son to be a Yerei Shamayim when he sees him saying Kriya Shema when it's far too late? How can a father expect his son to be a Baal Midas Tevis when he sees himself talking to people? Somebody cuts him off in the car, he starts to talk like a Egla Rufa Mamish. How does he expect him to be a Baal Midas Tevis? How can a father expect his son to have a geschmack in Torah mitzvahs and maasim tovim when his father doesn't display too much of it? What's in this father's heart, even if there is something there, is not enough. That's cardiac Judaism. Cardiac Judaism doesn't work. That's the toast from the conservatives and the reforms, and it doesn't work. Aber show alone is not enough. Aber without beide. The same is with a mother and her in Yonim. Let's remember, the first Yisroel of Yiddishkeit are instilled by the mother, and very, very much depends on how and what she teaches her little ones, by words and by deeds, and really much more is accomplished by deeds than by words. We are very busy parenting, a major industry in today's day and age. But maybe we should be more busy with the parents themselves, because it's not possible to succeed in chinuch when the parents are not an example, and when sometimes we see otherwise, ein semchen alanes. And I would like to conclude with one simple posik. Moir Rabbi say, Herz gut. Monoyach asked the Malach, Ma yiyeh mishpat hanaru masei. What is how are we going to raise him? How are we going to raise him? The Malach answered him, Vayoyim Malach Hashem el Monoyach, mikoil asher omarti elo isho tishomer. Without heating whatever I told her. Isn't this a perfect example of Tana b'chitin v'hoidlei b'soirim? He asked him what to do with the kid, and he told him what she should do. The answer to this is poshet. There is no such thing as being able to mechanech the children unless you yourself first do what you're supposed to do. If you're not ready to do, it's not shaykh to be successful in raising the children. So, many of us are willing to follow the Chassam Sofer in giving up some ruchnias for the sake of chinuch habonim. But we really need to examine how much imaginary Gashmias we are also ready to sacrifice for this holy cause. I call it imaginary because I challenge everyone. Please take a look at pictures from 30 years ago and see how silly those styles that were then a must, mamish yehored val yavre, and what do you think of them today? So, Neila, I think we can safely assume that what's today's Mishigasen will also look like that in a few years. I still remember it used to be an ASIC, you had to have pants that were 35 amas long, and there was ganze halachas that have to be bigger on the bottom. All of a sudden, I see they have to be outgrown, and Hashem Yishmerenu. But when we're doing this to children, wir hagen und sie weg. Wir darf wissen sein, shelo shmom l'shreinu al babushom is even negayah today. Hashem Yisborach soll uns helfen. Wir sollen ehrlich beten, wenn ihr anachnu v'tzeh zu einu v'tzeh zu amcho beis Yisroel, kolonu yoyde shmecha v'leim das eresecha lishmo. Der Kotzke sich eine Levroche hat geteitscht. Hakoil bidei Shomayim, chutz mi ihre Shomayim. Als was ein Mensch bet, lav davke gibt man ihm. Weil es amol weiß man von ihm, dass es nicht kein Teufel für ihn. Ihre Shomayim, als ein Mensch bet, gibt man ihm. Weil das ist allemal gut für einen Menschen. Soll der Eibischte jeden einem schenken am Atone. Es ist am Atone. Der Eibischte kommt uns gar nicht. Soll der Eibischte schenken jeden einem am Atone von guten Kindern, gesunde Kinder, ehrliche Kinder, Kinder, was geben MSC jüdische Nachas, Kinder, wo der Eibischte weiß, don auf sie, als sie sind Yisroel, asher bechoes poer. Und nur als solche Kinder soll der Eibischte allem beschützen, mit Kolokom, mit Kolmaren, Wischen, Lariches Yomim, Vishonim, Batoivu Banim.